Batman goes too far. Batman has been on a journey. He created a robot version of himself with no flaws known as the FailSafe. Penguin had Batman accused of his murder, and Batman ended up battling against his own robot, FailSafe. FailSafe ended up winning, and he was thrown into the multiverse where he saw the birth of the Joker. Coming home, he battled against the villain Insomnia and was knocked unconscious. During all of this, we discovered Batman's true FailSafe wasn't a robot version of himself, but instead was the ultimate Batman. A Batman without flaws, without sidekicks, without love. A Batman that is buried inside of Bruce Wayne's mind, waiting for a chance to take over. While Batman was unconscious, Catwoman started the Gotham War, coming up with a way to reduce violent crimes by 75%, and most of the Bat family has decided to side with her, willing to figure out how this can work. Red Hood was a little bit more aggressive, getting in Batman's face about it, so Batman captured him and injected him with something. While this is going on, Vandal Savage has purchased Wayne Manor and is seemingly returning to Gotham to conquer. All of these stories are linked down below, but today we're going to be continuing them with Batman 138. This is Comic Storian. We create audio dramas of your favorite comic books so you know what to add to your collection. And let's get into it. Vandal Savage has lived hundreds of lifetimes. He is immortal, but that wasn't always the case. In the beginning, Vandal witnessed the sky light up as meteors fell from the sky, and they were magic. As he got closer to them, he could feel his body growing stronger, his mind expanding, growing sharper. He was smarter. Smart enough to know that something so precious needed to be protected at all costs. The fragments landed across the world, and a few others who encountered them became immortal like himself. He never cared about their origins, only the power in all forms. Ra's al Ghul had his own method of immortality. With every soak in the Lazarus pit, the effects started to fade. Vandal too felt the fading effects of his prolonged life, but that was before he lacked the stones that made the meteors. And right now, the largest piece of it is sitting inside of Gotham City. But during Vandal's search, there was another family in the midst of a fight. Batman versus the entire Bat family. In their battle, Batman had barely bested Jason Todd, and he won by injecting him with something. As Jason woke up in Batman's hideout, he felt something he wasn't accustomed to. Fear. Jason's body trembles. He asks Batman what he did. Batman tells him, "Relax, take deep breaths." "Did you inject me with fear gas?" "No. Years ago, I created a personality backup, Zur-En-Arrh, to take over if I ever failed. And I'm using techniques I learned from an old mentor. This machine won't change your personality, but I can add something to it. A small thing. Your FailSafe. Now when you have heightened adrenaline, when you're about to do something dangerous, this fear is going to kick in. I'm sorry, but this was the only way. I love you, but you're a murderer. You're a bull in a china shop. This will heal you." Jason stumbles back. "Heal me? This isn't you. You're a controlling piece of crap, but you're not like this." Batman turns, kneeling down, taking off his mask. "I've given you a new identity. A place in Metropolis. You can live a normal life now. This isn't a punishment, Jason. This is a gift. I'm saving you from yourself." "If that's so, then who's saving you from yourself?" But in his silence, an alarm goes off. Batman simply turns back towards the monitors. At another location, Nightwing is climbing into an apartment, telling somebody that he has reached the location. Barbara asks if they're really doing this. Did Batman really kidnap Jason? Nightwing responds to her, "I'm not sure. I've never seen Bruce like this before. He's always been driven, a control freak, but it feels like he's at a point where he feels we are all a mistake. Like his one-man war on crime should have stayed a one-man war." Barbara quietly says, "Bruce said he had Zur-En-Arrh in check, but..." Nightwing touches a picture on the wall. "He doesn't. But whether it's Bruce or Zur-En-Arrh, we need to stop him before things get worse. Batman may have created FailSafe in case he went too far, but it also made him who he is. And he gave me access to this." As a small beep can be heard, a wall shifts, revealing a large server, and Nightwing goes on explaining that this is where his parents first lived together. This is where Thomas Wayne was able to go to medical school. Bruce bought it and made it his secret heart. Just then a voice yells out, "A heart that you betrayed! Letting criminals run the city? And now, what? You're gonna shut down the one man besides you that could stop them?" Nightwing turns back to see Damian in the window. "Damian, Bruce isn't himself. He trusted me to know when to do this. He gave me the keys to stop him." Damian launches himself into the apartment, swinging right away. Nightwing blocks him. "We have to do this together. He kidnapped Jason. And what if he did? Todd made his decision, sided with the criminals, just like you, Dick." Nightwing feels a sharp sting in his cheek as he's being sliced, and at that moment, Tim tackles Damian to the ground. Tim grabs a hold of Damian, hooking back outside, pulling Damian with him to give Nightwing the time that he needs to disconnect Batman from all of his tools. First check is a retinal scan. Second is a voice phrase. "I vow to help, to make the world a better place, and I swear that I will fight against crime and corruption and never swerve from..." But before he could finish, another voice ends the phrase. "The path of righteousness." Batman walks forward. "I'd remember the words, but I'd forgotten the meaning. Allowing criminals to do what they like isn't righteousness. And abusing your access to the Batbox won't stop me from fulfilling my oath to make the world a better place. I planned for everything, but I never expected this." Nightwing turns to him. "Is kidnapping a part of your plan to make this a better place? Where does that fall in your damned oath?" "Jason needed help. I'm giving it to him." "Ha, yeah, I'm sure Jason was a willing participant." Nightwing gets into his fighting stance, and the Batbox begins to play a message from the Riddler. "Oh, Batman, there's a new player in your game. Ahem. His canvas was once stone, and he defies the dirt. Who is he?" "Really? You're working with the Riddler?" Nightwing cries out as he lunges at Batman. Batman catches him. "Edward is feeding me information. I'm tracking him down while he does it." "This isn't you. This is Zur-En-Arrh." But Batman snaps one of the sticks with his robotic hand. "This is me! This is the oath!" With a powerful backhand, Batman knocks Nightwing to the ground. But as he starts to walk away, he tells him, "You're all losing sight of that. You're killing the city with compromises and excuses." Nightwing rolls over and fires his grappling gun into the back of Batman's head. "Not everything is so black and white." Meanwhile, outside, Tim and Damian continue to battle, with Damian declaring, "You're all useless! You know you can't win this fight." "Yeah, I know, so I'm making it a fair one," Tim tells him. He points his staff at Damian, and seconds later, an electrical bolt jumps out, shocking Damian, giving Tim the time he needs to cuff Damian to a parking meter. But as Tim explains that he's trying to save him, there's a loud crash, and Batman's body is flung out of the apartment down into the street. Nightwing jumps down, charging. "I'm not gonna let you do this! I'm not gonna let you destroy the peace that Selina has made!" Batman reaches back, ripping the door off a car, hitting Nightwing with it. "This is not peace! It's an illusion while your lines fall away!" But before he can finish, Batman feels himself being wrapped up and then kicked by Tim. Batman looks at him. "Stopping me is going to kill people. You know this, Tim!" "What I know is that you're lost, Batman. That's why I became Robin in the first place. Because you were slipping into darkness. Why can't you see that?" Even bound, Batman jumps to his feet, attacking with his legs. "All I see are criminals!" As Tim is pushed away, he yells, "We can talk about this!" And Batman frees himself from the bindings. "We can talk when you've all come to your senses." He punches so hard that he breaks through Tim's staff, knocking him down. Just seconds later, Nightwing jumps in, using both fists to punch him. "You're a monster! You kidnapped Jason, infected his mind! He was your son!" Batman looks at him. "I am saving him!" And he calls out for his car. But Nightwing continues to punch him. "The Batmobile isn't coming. I've disconnected you from everything." But before another swing could be made, Tim grabs him. "This isn't the answer, Dick! Batman needs our help!" As the two of them begin to argue which method is the correct way to deal with Batman, Batman snares them in a net. "You have no idea how much I protect you. How much I give to allow you to do what you do. You think I give a damn if the world knows my identity? I keep it so you can have a life. Now with the police arriving, you're going to see the repercussions of what you've been doing." As the sirens begin to get louder, Batman fires his grappling gun into a nearby roof, and he looks down at the two of them struggling. He realizes that this is the end if they get arrested. But in the back of Batman's mind, Zur-En-Arrh tells him, "They've all done good. They've saved the city. They won't go to jail. They'll just be forced to live normal lives after they're identified. You'll be free. You'll just be Batman. Batman continues to watch, but seeing the two have no escape, he throws a batarang beside them and leaves. Damian begins to shout out, "Come back, Father!" But soon, when his cries go unheard, he realizes that he too has been left behind. Tim hugs him. "There's something wrong. We're gonna help Dad." Meanwhile, back at the first hideout, Jason rocks back and forth, telling himself to get up when there's a sudden explosion. He screams as Marquise walks in. He asks how she found him, and Marquise tells him that there's always tracking methods that a man of science like Batman would never notice. She holds out a small rock, and Jason asks what is it. She says it's a small fragment of a tremendous opportunity, something her father is seeking out. She's here to free Jason, to offer him something. Immortality, a life with the length needed to get it right. Her name, her real name, is Scandal Savage. Her father is Vandal Savage, and Vandal can unlock powers for them. She has watched him. He's better than the rest. He understands life. He understands death. And what she needs from him is to help her. Jason looks up, shaking in fear. I can't. Batman, he did something to me. I'm scared. I don't know. Please help me. Please. She looks at him. "I'm sorry. Time is of the essence. I need warriors." As Marquise fades into the shadows, Jason begs again. "Please. I'm so scared." But back in the city, Batman tries to get some distance between him and the others as he stops over at Crime Alley. He tells himself that this has all gone wrong. The whole plan, the promise he made to his parents, he's done so much. The things that he's built are out of control. They weren't supposed to allow crime like Selina wants. They're letting the Joe Chills of the world do what they want, and the worst part, the part that he can't seem to reason his way out of, can't fight against, is that he loves them. Batman falls back holding his head. How can I stop loving? And then footsteps can be heard as Batman looks up at Catwoman. She tells him that they need to talk. Elsewhere, Vandal continues telling his story. He explains that the power of that meteor was scattered across the world. The power of immortality scattered across the world. Some people made them into simple rocks, unusual weapons, life-altering obstructions of power, jewels that decorated clueless people, stones that glistened and drew them together. Most knew they were special. They just didn't realize how special. However, one man did, Ra's al Ghul. When the Lazarus Pit couldn't help him anymore, Ra's said that he knew that it wouldn't work for Vandal Savage. And while he is certain that the fragments of the stone could renew his brilliance, his life, he has spent too long keeping them apart only to have them back together. Vandal shouted, asking why would he keep the stones separate? And Ra's said because power is a target that could create a world of immortals. He spent years figuring out a way to keep that from happening, to dissuade their natural inclination to be together. He is sorry, but his light must fade so the world doesn't end up forever. Then something happened. In his darkest moments, Vandal was alone, going insane, and there was a light from his daughter. Ra's al Ghul died in the Shadow War, and with him, the safeguards in place that he put to keep the fragments from being one. They're all drawn to the largest piece, which resides in Gotham. That is why Vandal Savage is here. That is why all of them are here. This is their fate. Marquise says her father has promised them something far greater than coins and jewels. They aren't just thieves. They aren't disciples of Catwoman. They're a league of shadows. And as Vandal steps before all of the thieves in Selina's guild, he tells them that they are a league who will steal immortality from Gotham. The Gotham War is only just now heating up. Let me know your thoughts down below, as this story is to be continued.